This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Damn, Perk did this?
I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Saturday, everybody. It's your guy, KingzNDreamz, back at it again for a special Saturday interview. And I am very, very excited to have this person that I will be speaking to today, man. I think that this person is definitely very influential when it comes to Black men and really for us coming together and for us to better ourselves in all facets of life. And I think that it's extremely important for us as men to continue to strive to get better every day, right? None of us are perfect, right? But, what we want to do is, we want to congregate and bring ideas and our thoughts and also get advice, right? I think one of the things when it comes to all men in general, we have so much pride and we just think that we can just carry the burden alone, and we don't necessarily have to carry the burden alone, right? So I think that it's important for us to know that we do have outlets, right, to where we can actually know other men who have gone through our trials, our tribulations, right? And I think that that's extremely important, right? Because as I mentioned, when we try to do everything by ourselves, right, it doesn't work out because we try to be the master at all things and we can only try to be the master at one thing at a time. So I definitely think it's important that I bring this brother up here, man. Definitely very influential to us brothers, man, and men in general, man. My guy, Theo, what's up, brother? Oh, did I catch
How you
you
doing?
off guard?
There you go. Yeah, my little drink today.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm glad to be with you here. It's a great channel. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking to you. Of course, I got my introduction to you from Andre, so shout out to him. And yeah,
Yep.
we've been on his channel together how many times? Just sitting back chatting. So good to be on your channel. Good to finally see you face to face.
Yes, absolutely, man. Thank you so much for being here. Right, as you mentioned, Andre Love Crossing Borders connected us, man. That's my big brother right there, one of my mentors, man. So definitely am very, very happy to not only have him on your side, but also to now have you on my side, man. So salute to you, man. Salute to you.
Yeah. So
All right. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So the first question for me is, when it comes to the Manosphere, how did you get into the Manosphere and why? How and why?
um, it was actually a long journey, to be honest.
Okay.
So just to get straight out, I was a feminist. I had studied feminism throughout university, and the last thing that I wanted to do was to do anything to hurt women. That was absolutely, I was totally appalled to that idea.
Mhm.
And I had spent my time, the typical like mangina white knight, my shoulder being there so girls can cry on because they're bad boyfriends, but they're always going back to the to the boyfriend,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that pattern was kept on going, and I started reading some books from men who had left the women's movement and the now women's liberation movement. Actually, I think something like Women National Organization for Women. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
And he was saying, this one guy, the book was The Way Men Are, I think that's what it is. And he was talking about how there's a double standard for how you treat men and for how you treat women. And I'm kind of sensitive to this because we'd always say, like, if you have a picture of a white man, but you have the same depiction of a black man, is that racist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we wouldn't tolerate that. But why is it that you could have one depiction for a woman and another depiction for a man, and it's really bad for the man, but that's okay?
Right.
And that was his point. Like, you got to think about what's going on. So that happened. That was real beginning. So I lost my wife in Japan in 2008. It was a horrible experience. And I found myself on chat rooms in Facebook talking to other boomers. And these are boomers who had lost their wives. Some had died. Some were widowers. And there's a lot of divorcees. And they were talking, they were just like, hey, look, why did we give up Lego? Why did we give up D&D? Why did we give up the things that we loved in order to get married? This was the first big question. Like,
right.
I'm facing it. Like, why did you give up so much?
Right.
So this was in 2008. This continued until I read Esther Villar's The Manipulated Man in 2012. That's when I dropped the red pill. Went through red pill rage, but also hit rock bottom. And I started racing at that point. And then Sandman, of course. So I was in the white manosphere. I didn't know it was white. I just knew it was manosphere. And
right.
then 2017, I actually encountered Obsidian and BGS. And there, I saw the condition of black men. And what black men were saying in the black manosphere was so horrible. It was so deep. This was real. I was like, okay, the real battle for the manosphere is going to be in the black manosphere, not in the white manosphere. I need to switch manospheres. And then I recognized there was a lot of parts in me that I wasn't really dealing with as a black man. And I was just like, I kind of like put it as exceptions, right? Something over to the side. And the
right.
black manosphere, especially with BGS, he's like, no, you have to deal with this. This is real. This is a structural problem against you. So you need to figure it out. So I went through that. I think with BGS, I took the black pill. And that was 18 months of pure depression. But I got out of it and I accepted it. I accepted the reality of my life. And after that, that's when I started having what I consider to be real hope, because I understood reality and how the structure was for me and against me. And I was like, okay, I can deal with it now. So ever since then, I've been in the black manosphere.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I think that a lot of men have a lot of similar stories, whether it was relationship wise. I know that's really one of the main key components, right? I would say that's probably about 75, 80%. I know some people have like some financial or what have you. When it comes to just really understanding the nature of how people are, or then when it comes to dating or relationships, marriage, of how women are, right? And we all, as men, come from, at least a lot of us black men come from that be the superhero, big S on your chest, and be the savior and things like that, right? But the thing is that it's just not the reality nowadays. If it was, let's say 50, 60 years ago, before feminism, if you will, just kind of skyrocketed and really just kind of took a turn to where men can really just be dumped on. But then if we have something to say, we're called misogynistic, we're called, now it's this toxic masculinity or what have you, right? It's all this other nonsense, right? But the thing is that we grew up in having this Disney-like type type of thing where it's like, we would be the Cinderella where the guy would come bring like the glass slipper or whatever the case is. And, I remember a quick story for me. There was one woman I liked, and I was, I'm friends with her cousin. And so I ended up ordering her flowers. The girl, right? The girl who I liked ended up ordering her flowers, and I put it like as a secret admirer, so she didn't know it was from me. And now the woman who I liked, I did not know that she was talking to someone else. So
Right.
she thought it was from a guy who she was trying to get his attention, right? So she's all excited, blah blah blah, right? And then find out it's me. She's like, oh, what the fuck? So because she was so excited because she thought it was the dude who she was trying to get his attention, but he wasn't doing anything. I was the one who actually surprised her with the flowers. And so that's just one of the things that was like more or less a wake-up call. I have other things that woke me up, but like there were things as I was growing up, it kind of happened, right? And for me, I would say like how you said that you got into the white manosphere. So I read Rollo Tomasi's book, and that was when I got into the manosphere. Then I started learning about Kevin Samuels, started learning about Obsidian and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely, I mean, there are things from the white manosphere that I can understand, but I would say for me, most of the content that I watch is black manosphere content. All right, man. These guys are firing off, man. Thank you for people coming in. All right.
So I thought the white manosphere. I mean, again, I learned a lot from it, particularly from Sandman. Shout out to Sandman.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here without Sandman.
Yeah.
And so that daily dose of red pill, you had to keep on going because your inclination is to go back to the blue pill and to be totally accepted. Yeah. And you have to get a hit on it every day.
Right.
And he gave an explanation of an event that happened in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so thankful he had talked about it because no one had said that before, and it happened to me too. Mm-hmm. I just remember being in Chicago, just sitting there in a park and just saying like, okay, I can do this. Like I can actually go into the red pill. Like I can have the strength to go through.
Yeah.
Because we were pretty much indoctrinated to be the saviors. And the only thing that happened was that we kept on giving our energy to save the women, but they kept on ruining themselves.
Right.
And they were just taking our energy. That was it. And this wasn't like 1 year or 2 years. This was decades.
Yes.
And we're looking at it like, what's wrong with you? Like we have to build eventually. And I started understanding like they don't care about building. They only care about getting the energy. So the first rule of men going their own way is that Sandman defined is no resource transfer. And that is no money transfer, of course, but no energy, no listening. Don't give them your attention. Give all of those resources towards yourself and build yourself up. Let me tell you, when I did that, when I started this process, in 2011, I was homeless 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And my salary for that year was just over $23,000. And then in 2020, my salary was over $600,000.
Wow.
And that was me stopping to give energy to women.
Right.
And giving the resources to myself. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful I did that. I look at what other men are doing, and of course we're looking at them and like, you and me, we're looking at them like, stop doing the resource transfer to the women because they're not going to do anything. It's not just that you're not going to get laid. We know that. But you're not going to have any results for yourself. It's like throwing money and time out the window, like you're in a coma. Stop it. And when men stop this, their lives change.
No, it's very true, very true, right? So, one of like the biggest nightclubs in New York City, I used to manage, and so I'm around bottle girls, I'm around bartenders, right? Beautiful women all the time, and
Mhm.
I'm hooking up, I'm doing me, I'm hooking up and all of that, right? You know, getting it in and having fun. But the thing is that for years and years and years, I was doing that. But as you mentioned, I had nothing to show for it, right? Because it's like, all right, so you get laid, you know, you bust nuts, whatever, right? But you have nothing to show for it. After that, it's like, all right, what have I invested into myself? Because I'm talking to these women, I'm getting to know these women, right? And all of these things. And I know so much about them, but there's so much about me that I still need to learn about myself. So when I started to invest into myself, that is when I started to say, okay, you know what? Like, whatever all of this bullshit is, like, you know, trying to hook up, have fun, and whatever, you know what I mean? What, you know, put that to the side, because when you invest in yourself, I mean, women are going to be a byproduct of that anyway, right? So the thing is that when you put more energy into yourself, I believe, and I'm sure most men in here will concur, is that when you do that, you really see the true benefits, as opposed to going to always try to give that validation, right? You know, you're talking on the phone with this girl for you know, for hours. She may be a 9 or 10 or whatever, but those 3 or 4 hours that you're talking to her on the phone, you could be doing something about yourself, maybe learning about finance, maybe taking care of your physical health, maybe you have some mental health issues that you don't even know that you really have. But these are the things that you have to really look within yourself.
Right. No, I 100% agree with you on this one. I So with Sandman, I went to this one case in my life. This is
Mhm.
kind of like, for me, this was the case study. And there was a girl that I was totally crazy about in um, in university, my second year in university, and she kept on going back to the bad guy, crying on my shoulder, right?
Mhm.
And one day, one night, she actually really confessed to me that, you know, she had a baby deletion with this guy. And I worked with her. Remember, you know, The Last American Virgin, right? That movie. Like, this
I'm
is what I
sorry,
was
what was
coming.
that?
The Last American Virgin, like that movie. The kind of same thing happened in that
Oh,
situation.
okay, yep.
Yeah. So she had baby deletion with this guy,
I
and
understood, yep.
I couldn't believe it. And I was helping her and fixing her back up. And of all things, she went back to the guy. And I was sitting there, I was like, what the heck? And I didn't know how to deal with that situation. I was 19, 20 years old. And this was a very complex situation. And she was in church with me when I was 19 years old. I hadn't even had my first kiss yet, to be
Yeah.
honest. So I looked back on it when I started going through the pills, Sandman, and other groups. I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know, that girl, she had a real problem. She should have been with a therapist.
Right.
Like, I'm glad that I learned that she trusted me with that, and that I learned like the real terror that somebody's going through. But I needed to study Unix, programming, Python, COBOL, BASIC. I needed to be a programmer. I needed to study my Japanese, my Russian languages. I was there in university to advance myself. I was dateless when I was 19 years old. I hadn't had a first kiss yet. What was I doing listening to someone like that? I needed to be putting the energy into myself. So, but how many of us were like that? We were there listening, but the girl always went back. And so I had to really like detach and say, okay, Theo, you're a good guy, but it doesn't really matter. Do what's best for you. Go study that book. Go read,
Yeah.
go read Sartre, go read Camus, go read Dostoevsky. That's what you really need to be doing in life, not be listening to these women who constantly go back and destroy themselves. These women are constantly doing actions that are very detrimental to themselves, and only thing that you're doing is going there and helping them, like you're aiding them. You think that you're doing the right thing and helping them with these bad men, but these women are always choosing the bad men. It doesn't matter. You're not going to change them. Do what's best for you, Theo. And when I did that, my life changed drastically.
Right.
My life was totally different. Again, like I said, I went from $23,000 a year to $600,000 a year in, what was it, 10 years. My mental health blossomed. I was by far more secure, happier with my life, with everything that I was doing. I learned cloud. I took SANS courses. I solved why I was homeless, got rid of all that cover. I had cancer too, got rid of all that. And I started having the foundations for a real healthy and wonderful life. And I just say, like, guys, anyone who's listening to this, who hasn't gone through the journey yet, go through it. It's worth it, because they're indoctrinating you basically to give all this energy over to the women, and the women just take it, and there's no benefit for you. So this was the foundations of Save Yourself Black Man, as far as I was concerned. I was like, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now you did mention about like your mental health. So what steps did you take to better your mental health? Because when you were saying that, like, she was telling you about the deletion of the
Child deletion.
Right. The deletion of the unborn youth and putting that on you, right? Because the thing is that when we're listening to that, right, even though it's not our situation, it can still affect us, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because we're empathetic. We're the ones who actually have empathy towards the woman,
right? And
we're bearing that pain. And she goes back to a guy who doesn't care. He just wants her hips in the air. What? Right? So
yeah.
So basically, we need to really be careful. Like we need to be thinking about what's best for us.
I'm sorry. Say that last part again. You kind of cut out.
No problem. We need to be thinking about what's best for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely completely agree with that. Because I think what needs to happen is that, right? Because with men, we are so used to being selfless.
Yeah.
Right. We're so used to being selfless, right? Like especially for anyone who's a father in here, right? We all know we want to give our children the best of everything, and we work hard, we push ourselves because we want our children to have the best. Now that's all great, but before, like, if there are men who don't have any children, I would strongly encourage you to push yourself to be the best of yourself, and because this is the time in your life where you can be selfish. Right? Because how you said that you jumped up from 23K to almost $1 million, in a span of 10 years. I mean, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. Because some guys, they go their whole life. I know friends, family members, they could, they stick around 50, 60 annually. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that due to the fact that you made such a significant jump, I mean, man, like, kudos to you, brother. Kudos to you. Seriously.
Well, I think that was it was a part of the growth and understanding where I put my energy. Because if you're making $50,000 or $60,000 a year, like, okay, so you probably have a paycheck of around $3,000 to $4,000 a month, no more than that, after taxes and everything is deducted. So you have enough money to pay your rent, get a little alcohol, and have some time to actually sit and listen to someone. So you got guys who are probably putting their energy into other people. Now, what I did is I put that energy into myself. So you asked like what was some of the mental health choices that I chose.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a therapist, which I got a professional therapist. So the first round, one of the big things that we talked about, this is in 2012, is my therapist was like, she wanted to know the 10 best days of my life and the 10 worst days of my life. And the 10 best days of my life, I was achieving goals with the hope of getting married. So I was building myself up, and the future was I was thinking about I have these assets, I have these goals achieved, and now I'm better positioned to get married. And the 10 worst days of my life, there was a woman front and center every time. And I was suffering with the woman in my life.
Right.
And what my therapist says was, well, why don't you're doing this build, you're really good at building, why don't you just build into yourself and not be thinking about the woman, just build into yourself.
Right.
I was like, whoa, okay. So that was the first one. The second one, 2016, 2017, was childhood survivor of narcissistic parents. Dark, very dark. And you have to go in to see how the parents were emotionally abusing you and manipulating you. And that was incredibly dark for me, and it was hard. Combined with BGS, I understood what the futility was with a lot of my actions in life, and that I, as a child, was listening to my mother a lot with her problems, but she was not listening to me. She had no clue. And I thought that if I listened to my parents and helped them, that they would love me, but they never did. It was always a one-way street of me giving to them, me being the adult to them. And I had to accept that. And there were things like specific cases that I recognized, like when I was 9 and 12 years old, that I was doing my best, but no matter what I did, it was failure. Because I, as a child, was never supposed to do that. Okay, whoa. So I went into total darkness, but I got out.
No, you're all good, brother. You're all good. You're all good, man. You're all good, brother. You are all good, man. You're all good.
I was happy. I was really happy that I did get out of that. And what I recognize is that structurally, I was always thinking about what I could do for other people instead of thinking what I could do for myself.
Right.
So when I started thinking about myself first like that, oh yeah, things became wonderful, to be honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you mentioned therapy, and was it difficult for you as a Black man to go to therapy? Because we would hear it in the community like, oh, therapist, that's some white people shit. You know what I mean? We would always hear something along those lines. So was it a fear of that before you started therapy? Because I will say for me, it was that because like grown up in New York City, you would always hear like not really a lot of guys I knew were going through therapy at that time. Sorry, go ahead.
So when I was 18, I actually considered going to therapy first.
Oh, okay.
But I actually thought that it was a liberal, crappy thing, like fantasy, pansy, dreaming. Like this was BS, right? So
yeah,
I didn't
essentially, yes. So right.
So yeah, but I actually should have gone. But that would have solved it much quicker. But I didn't. So when I actually did go, I got a specialist in California that could actually understand where I was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got that, because there's other things from the first therapy. There's a whole slew of other problems. Right. With the second therapy in 2016, I got a male. I got a man this time. Okay. And I was like, okay, it has to be a certain man with a certain kind of background, with a certain kind of specialization. So it was like $250 an hour, which is crazy. But he knew what he was doing, and he could actually deal with my background. and he could deal with the like racial manipulation about how basically if I did something good, it was because of white people or because of my white mom, but it wasn't. If I did something bad, it was because I was black. So I had like this is a real burden to deal with as a kid, and this was in my head. So part of why I went abroad was that I was just an American abroad. I wasn't black abroad. I was just American, so I didn't have to have this thinking. But in America, I did have it, and that second therapist was like, "Oh no, that's child abuse. Like you should never be thinking that way. That's clearly child abuse. Let's go through it. Like this is manipulation. This like the police should be called in for this one. This is pretty bad."
Yeah, so, man, that's I mean that's crazy, man. And you know the thing is that this resonates with me because what a lot of people don't know, I don't like to share like my personal information when it comes to like my son, but if you know, some people are on my Facebook, so they probably know, but my son is biracial, right? And so the thing is that like I would never want to put my son in a position to where like if he does something crazy, oh, you know, like yo, that's your white side, you know, or like if he does something really cool, yeah, you know, that's your black side, or in your case, you know what I mean, because it is a form of child abuse, and now like with races really mixing, us as parents, we have to really be careful when it comes to that, right? Because we don't, like with parents, we have to make sure that we are properly influencing our children and making sure that they don't feel disconnected, especially when you have a, you know, biracial, like let's say, I mean, you know, a lot of guys, you know, are dating in Latin America, right? So you know, you're dating a Latina, or a lot of guys in Asia. Shout out to Zoom to Thailand and other brothers out there. But you know what I mean? You have kids out there, you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, so they know about their Thai side, but do they know enough about their black side, or vice versa? So you just want to make sure that you do have that healthy mix in there.
I think you definitely need to have it, and at least not okay. If I do something good, it's because of me. If I do something bad, it's because of me. It has nothing to do
exactly.
with race.
Yes.
And I needed to have that. And my dad understood it, but my mom did not. And she was the one who was doing the narcissism. She was really implementing it.
Okay.
And so the structure for me to simp, to give energy away over to a woman in order to be accepted by her was instituted by my mom.
I see.
But the next part is that if I didn't do it, she'd physically beat me.
Oh wow!
And it wasn't just emotional; it was physical. And that's again with my therapist. He was like, "Oh yeah, you should have gotten out of that house." But the problem was this: is that my parents were like, if you say anything, then they're gonna break the family up. So don't say anything. So I hid everything. I was perfect in hiding, and any kind of bruise I had or any kind of tear or anything like that, I would be like stoic or like be bright eyed, like hi, but I wouldn't actually say what was going on because I didn't want the family to be broken up.
Right,
and that was something that was going on. So basically, that second therapist, he understood that the foundation mentally for me to give my energy to women and be selfless that way, that was implemented inside the house. And I needed to get rid of it, which is what I did.
Absolutely, man. Good for you, man. Good for you. You're a better man today. I'll tell you this much for sure. Let me get to some of these super chats, and let me shout a couple of people out. Let's see. Shout out to G Turner, man. He says it took about a year. It took about a year, but I'm glad to see this. Anyone doubtful, I can tell you Theo is the best at what he does? Well, I tell you this much: any man that's gone from 23K to 600K, yeah, definitely. You definitely need to know someone like that.
Yeah.
Shout
Thanks,
out to you,
Turner.
my. Oh, sorry, my fault. Go ahead.
I said thanks, Turner. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Who is this guy? Where did they find him? Did they find him on the
Crossing Borders live. Oh, okay. Better abroad. Yeah. Okay. This is Dre. I was about to say, did someone just like try to like steal like Dre's name? Shout out to Dre, man. Shout out to Dre for sure. My guy. Speaking of Cali, I'll be out there next month.
Man, I want to go there. I really do.
You'll like Cali, man. You'll like Cali.
I'm gonna be there in November.
Okay. Okay.
So I got my Airbnb reserved. I'm gonna do Cali, Colombia, and then go to Sao Paulo for 2 months.
There you go.
Good. Everybody remember, Andre is having his movie night tonight, and I bought popcorn already. So one thing I like about Dre at his movie night. I actually get to watch black movies. And I didn't get to see it when I was growing up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like this is the movie you're supposed to be watching. I'm like, whoa! Like I'm mind blown. I don't believe it. I could watch it and just talk with other guys about movie. I'm like, wow, this is so great. So I love the movie night. I'm a big fan of it.
No, I think movie night is actually an excellent idea. So I actually just started my Rumble channel. So definitely I'll make sure that you do follow my Rumble channel. It is KingzNDreamz. So how you see it spelled in front of you is KingzNDreamz on every platform: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, obviously, because you're all in. But every platform I'm on there, KingzNDreamz. But I'm actually going to be doing something, not movie night, but I'm going to be doing my dating show breakdown, and it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to do that on Rumble, man. Dre kind of helped inspired me to do something like that, because I think when it comes to like the dating show breakdown, like from a masculine perspective, I don't think we see enough of that. Like if we see like a dating show, it's usually, how the woman feels and what's her thoughts, what's her ideas, or whatever the case is. Like, okay, segue really, really quick. The show Love is Blind, they have like this reunion. Every time they have a reunion, it's usually something that the man does and the woman is absolved of guilt. Not saying that the man is not guilty, but the woman is just completely absolved of guilt. And I'm just like, you know what? Someone needs to say something about this. So I'm going to put that out there.
I don't even look at what the woman says anymore or what she feels. I only look at her actions and results. And I'm like,
oh, absolutely.
Let's just talk about that. That's the only thing we're going to talk about.
Absolutely, agreed. All right. The next super chat, Jewels of Tech. I like that. Jewels of Tech. I like the way you spelled that too. Thanks for having Theo on. This program is a game changer. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, Jules.
Thanks,
I
Jules.
appreciate you for being here.
So Jules is one of my lieutenants in the class.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Yep.
He definitely helps people get jobs. He prepares them for interviews. He's one of the best guys. Probably at this point, he's probably the best guy in the class for doing this. So in the class, we don't just train you how to do tech. We actually train you how to get through the interview and what's important and what's not important. So again, shout out to Jules. He's putting in the work.
Oh man, absolutely. Shout out to Jules, man. Shout out to Jules. Yeah, I think, and we'll talk about this a little bit later when it comes to like the tech side and stuff like that. But I think not only knowing the knowledge, but being able to actually talk about the knowledge and what is pertinent to speak about during an interview is very, very important. I'll move on because I don't want to deep dive. All right. Tig says from
TIQS. TIQS. That's how you say it.
Oh, okay. TIQS.
Okay. Yeah, he and I are moderators on Kevin Samuel's channel. That's how we actually met because we were super
Really?
chatting a lot. Yeah, so I was a moderator. He was a mod, and we were to sit there and chat. So we've been talking ever since.
Wow. Interesting. So that's how I met Gail at night
Yeah,
from Kevin Samuel's channel.
yeah.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking that I might have met or reached out to you before Dre. I'm still going to give Dre the credit, but I think I started speaking to you before Dre because now it started to come back to me that we started to have some conversation. But it's all right
Uh-huh.
though. I'm still going to give you the credit, Dre. But shout out to you, Teeks. Passport ready. Thank you so much for the super chat. Prince O, shout out to Theo and KingzNDreamz. Thank you so much all for being here, man. I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate y'all. Let's see here. Look, the Manosphere is the Matrix. Y'all want women to be your possession. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
we know we know what that's about.
Yeah, it's crazy. So again, somebody like that who's speaking, you're entirely delusional. One of the things, if you're in the manosphere like we are, we for the most part we stop talking to women, and we're not trying to be a possession. Where we want ourselves to be our own possession. We're thinking about claiming our own lives and improving our own lives, and it has nothing to do with women. In a way, you could say that women are decentered, and we actually put emphasis on our own hopes, dreams, and ambitions in life. And I actually had to learn how to give to myself, and I had never really done that before. So again, my students know. I'll give you one of these examples. I have like all of these earphones. So you can see them here.
Yep,
Right?
I see him.
And you see these right here? These are all custom earphones.
Oh wow,
And
okay.
yeah, so this is like $900, and these are $600 a piece, right?
Yep.
And I have over 20 of these. So there's another one right here, right? And the reason I did this is I had to learn to spend money for myself, and I would do this every month. I would make sure that I give myself what I call bling. I would give myself one bit of bling per month just to get used to giving to myself. And
Right.
this was a huge process because I was used to always giving money to a woman. And when I stopped giving the money to the woman, I gave to myself, my life blossomed. I was like, wow, this is so great. I'm actually having a great time. So it's nothing about women being a possession, Lilith. Now,
Right.
we don't even think that way.
Yeah, excellent point. I want to go back to actually I want to transition it more into financial, right? So what how were you able to learn fiscal responsibility?
I learned a lot when I was homeless. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
thought a lot about what I was doing with the money, and then like I just came up with the process, and I was like, okay, so I'm kind of bad with money. So if the money is in my hand, it's going to be gone. So let's get money. I want to have a high cash flow, but I am my own worst enemy. So what do I do? So what I did is I made sure that I have a 401k. So there's a direct contribution from my salary. And then I learned that like for mutual funds, you could have a contribution given from your paycheck directly to the mutual fund without it going to your bank account. So you could actually have a transfer done directly, which is what I did. I set that up.
Okay.
So I have a savings account and a brokerage firm, and it's kind of like a savings account. Not exactly, it's also have separation, but I have 10% of my salary goes into that account, and then that gets automatically transferred to a mutual fund. So I made sure I did that, and then I said I put 5% of my salary into like a rainy day fund, and that is like it's not actually in my bank account; it's in another account. So that was the first three things that I did. I had made sure I had a rainy day account, mutual fund, and a 401k. Made sure I had those, and I said I don't touch them, but I don't look at them. I don't do anything with those. And then I get my salary, right? So it's in my bank account. First thing I do is I pay a bill, straight out, pay a bill. And then I get myself a little bling, not big bling, but little bling. So it could be, for example, back in the day, a Lego set. I'm big into Lego. So Lego set would be $20. Okay, so I pay a bill and I get a $20 Lego set. At that point, I'm kind of like in a good mood, you can say. Mm-hmm. So then it was like, now go pay another bill, right? And then once I would do that, and I would like take care of myself and then pay a bill, like my anxiety would go down and I'd be like, I feel pretty comfortable. Like I feel like being taken care of. And then I would put a certain amount of my money every paycheck into retraining myself. So books, go buy a book, go buy Udemy's, go buy courses for education so I can advance my career. Well, when I did this over time, I socialized myself and conditioned myself to always be incrementally improving and building myself. And I had a great time. My life really blossomed. And so I was like, you know, instead of spending like $300 to take a woman out for dinner, I spent, you know, I paid a bill and then I bought like a Cisco book, which is like $80. And then I went out and I had like sushi, and that's like $60 in California. And right. I was like, how do you feel? Like, good, you got a book, you got some sushi, you got a bill paid. I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good. Like, why do I need to take the woman out? Let's do this. That's how my life was. That's how I did it. It was just step by step, week by week, incremental. Make sure that I have the savings every paycheck, and I don't touch it and I don't look at it. So my investments were usually making between 15 to 25% a year. I never looked at it. I just looked at it like once every 5 years or so. I would actually put my eye into it. But before that, now I just like, it's done. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to know.
Okay, so let me kind of rewind a little bit. So, like, all right, now, how did you get into investments? Because I know that you said that what put the catalyst for you to be frugal and fiscal responsible, like, was due to the fact that you were homeless. But like, how were you able to kind of get into like mutual funds and things like that?
So I studied finance when I was in university.
Okay,
that's one of my minors, and I studied portfolio management.
Okay.
So I understood some of the mutual funds. So if you have 401k, it's also a mutual fund. So I understood what the stocks were, the kind of combinations, and I was like, well, look at my position. So like for the 401k, I wanted that to be a higher growth fund because I'm getting my contribution and the company contribution, right? So I really wanted that to be like a more aggressive one. Whereas my mutual fund, that was all by money. That was post-tax. So I'm going to get taxed on it again when I get
that's work, but yeah. Yep.
So I was a little bit more conservative on that. So I was like, I want that to be like 10%. So that was like more like a little bit more T-bills, but like more like IBM, like traditional stock funds that over time tend to, like, even there's a recession, they survive. They just keep on growing. And I was like, okay, so for that fund, that's all I want to do, is that kind of stuff. Whereas for my 401k, that is like emerging funds, like highly speculative investments. It could go 15 to 25%, but during the recession, it went down 40%, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have to deal with that. Like, you know, there's touch and go over a long period of time, though. It's always over 15% year to year. So you just have to think about what you really want, how you want to do your investment, and just be smart about what you're actually putting in there. So companies that don't have like, let's say penny stock, companies that have a lot of hope, but they don't have cash flow, their stock is less than $1 a lot of times.
Right.
So you could be like, okay, I'm gonna put $1,000 into there. I don't expect that $1,000 back. And sometimes you're gonna lose that money. But sometimes that money might go from like 50 cents to $15 a share, and then it does a stock split. So you get 2 stocks, right? So now it's $30. So you just went from 50 cents to $30 per share. If you put $1,000 in there, you got some cash, right? So then if you have a good portfolio manager, they say, okay, thank you for the money, and then they put the money into someplace else. That's what I deal with. That's it's one of my 401ks is in Goldman Sachs, and that's one of the stuff they do there. It's actually very effective.
No, I think that is very, very smart. I think that, like what you were saying, where you have a mutual fund where you don't touch it, you just leave that money there. Right. And so for people who are working, most people typically get paid bi-weekly. So at least 2 times a month, you're going to get a paycheck. So at least 2 times a month, you know that money is going to be sitting there, that rainy day fund. Right. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you know, knock on wood, you know, God forbid, and some sort of catastrophe happens or whatever, but you at least have something waiting for you should you need it. Right. And so this way you already know what's there and you know not to touch it. And then also being strategic for, let's say, like the average worker, right? So the average worker is making between 50 to 65 ish, something like that. Right. So they can invest in some penny stocks because it's not going to hurt them too much. Like say if they get a stock for 50 cents, maybe $1 or something, and that stock does happen to appreciate rather than depreciate, so you're looking kind of good. So I would say like even average earners can still make some investments.
Yeah, and it's a lot about discipline. You have to accept situation. So, okay, so you have to do that investment, right? And then after you pay your bills, sometimes, I mean, I'll just be straight out honest. Maybe during that payday, I put $1,000, $1,500 into investments and savings. But after I paid my bills, I only had money for like peanut butter and jelly and ramen for 2 weeks. I ate peanut butter and jelly and ramen. That's the way it was.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't go out and do anything. I didn't have anything else. I didn't say like, okay, I need money from the rainy day. No, the rainy day is like, and I was homeless. The rainy day is there to make sure you're not homeless again.
Right.
that's
right.
it.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that like people would say like I would eat peanut butter and jelly or like tuna fish. Man, especially back in the day, like man, like we was poor. We would have like Spam in a can, right? Yeah. I'm saying I was poor back in the day, So I'm saying like for and long story short, all jokes aside, is that like for to eat sushi now or to eat filet mignon now, you have that more appreciation due to the fact that you remember the times where you were having peanut butter and jelly and oodles and noodles every day, right? So I definitely understand where you're coming from in that mindset, right? Because sometimes people will say, oh man, oodles and noodles again. But it's like, hey, you know what? At least you're having something to eat on a daily basis. And the more that you keep consistent when it comes to saving your money, spending it wisely, right? And not just spending it frivolously, you know, you see this woman, she has a nice body and all of that, and you're trying to take her out, and you're trying to take her out the roof, Chris, and you're like, nah, dog, don't do that. Invest in
No,
yourself. Invest in yourself.
just to have a roof over your head, the
Mhm.
bills are paid, you have something safe, you've got the internet. And I had my career, I had my jobs working, I was making my money. I didn't care if I had peanut butter and jelly or not. It was safe.
Right.
It was fine. When I was homeless, I was eating out of trash cans. I had food.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So I had a dog with me named Kitty. Kitty was, I was totally in love with Kitty because she was always next to me. When I was in my darkest moments, my worst homelessness, cancer, all that, Kitty was always next to me, always giving me comfort. So when I finally bought this house, I bought this house with cash, and I only used a partial mortgage, but I paid the mortgage off in 9 months. So, like, I just straight out was like, I don't want to have the mortgage at all, so I paid the remainder
There you go.
with cash.
There you go.
So when that happened, and then the house appreciated in value, I had like $1 million in assets, right? And I actually went to Whole Foods and I got filet mignon, and I gave it to Cutie first. Cutie and I sat and we just had steak together.
Nice. There you go. Hey man, there you go. There you go. There you go.
She was looking at me like, "Why are you like so happy?" I was like, she doesn't know.
Right. Yeah.
It was fun. I got, that's a little memory that I've got. It just, I walked out, I remember, of the house, and it was just a normal day. I had my normal clothes on and everything. I just had my Hyundai car, and it was a $10,000 car, no big deal. It was used, and my normal shoes, just my Nikes, and I was in there. I was like, okay, cool, I made it. Yeah, I'm good.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, and so I want to transition more into leadership. So because you have this class and you're leading this class, right? What made you decide to say, okay, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, put this together to teach other men who look like me to be able to not only earn a living, but earn a more substantial living?
Okay, so what I did was, this was actually due to Kevin Samuels. So shout out to him, may he rest in peace.
Absolutely.
I was on Donovan Sharp with Kevin Samuels. That's how I got my introduction to him. And at first, like, I was making $600,000 a year in 2020 during the COVID. And I was saying this in the Black Manosphere that I was actually at 600,000, and nobody could believe it. They thought that I was tripping. I was lying. And I was like, okay, fine. So I'll say that I'm making $300,000 a year. How's that? So dumb it down.
So you cut it in half.
So I cut it down to 300,000.
They still probably was like, hell no.
They said, hell no, that's impossible. And Kevin Samuels, I did a super chat to him, so I gave him $150, right? And he said, like, I was 47 years old at the time. He said, you should be dating a 25-year-old. It doesn't even matter how you look. Like, you should have a hot 25-year-old. Why don't you go out and date and do this stuff, right? I wasn't even thinking about dating. And then the other thing that he said was, the way that you're really thinking, you need to be vocal. You need to actually say it. So a lot of Black men were not saying what they're really thinking. They're just placating the women. That's it. And that's what I was doing too. And I said, okay, I'm going to start being vocal. So I started saying, yeah, I'm making 600,000. And the way the people were treating me, I just got ticked off. And I was like, why is it that someone wouldn't believe that I'm making that money, particularly because I was Black? And I was like, this is bullshit. Okay, sorry. This is BS. So
no, you can swear. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to teach people how to do this. because I'm sick and tired of people thinking that black men can't do this. This is ridiculous.
Right.
And I was going to teach the entire process, and I didn't want to go online to do it. I actually wanted to meet people in person and actually have a personal connection and teach them from the beginning of how to actually do it. So I decided to make the conclave in Atlanta in 2021. And I said, hey, look, to make sure you don't think I'm grifting, I'll do it for free. So I'll pay for all the hotel. I'll fly speakers in. If they need a stipend, I'll give it to them. I'll pay for all their food, all their transport, everything. So the first conclave was about $45,000. I paid for it all with cash, no credit cards, nothing. I paid all cash payments because at that time I was making my net salary. No, my gross salary was about $55,000 a month. So my net was somewhere around between 41 and 43,000, something like that. I forgot. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't have that many bills to pay, so just pay in cash. The second conclave, the same kind of thing with Obsidian and myself in Philadelphia. I paid for that one in its entirety as well. So that was about another $35,000 to $40,000. And I was just saying like, hey, look, I'm going to change the narrative. I want a group of guys, at least 300 men, who are cloud certified, working remote, can become passport bros. Of course, I was SYSBM. I want them all being in other countries, dating abroad, and having a great time. And I want them to have the same kind of options that I have. So I'm going to train these guys to do it. And I'm not going to listen to this crap anymore that not only that I can't do it, but black men can't do it. I said black men can do it. Right. So I started this in 2021. The results speak for themselves afterwards.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, you're right, because you hear that someone's making over $500,000, and unfortunately we have this stigma as black men. You either have to be an athlete or some sort of entertainer in order to make that kind of money, or you're making that money illegally. So to hear someone right, so to hear that you're making that amount legally, it's like, okay, what's the you said a grift, right? So what's the grift here? So
yeah. I didn't want that.
Yeah, because especially around with 2020, like you had the pandemic. There were a lot of, there were a lot of cons, there were a lot of grifts and things like that. So I could understand why people were saying that, but I could also understand from your side. You're saying like, no, like this is real. So you know what? Okay, I'm gonna walk it instead of just talking it. And so you do the conclave, or whatever, you put that on your back, and then so on and so forth. So so how did you connect with Obsidian and decided to do the conclave with him?
So we were in Kevin Samuel's group together, the Mix.
Okay.
And so I had originally talked about this in the Mix. So it was a guy named Sir Tice and myself, shout out to Sir Tice. I made this post in the Mix, and I said, I can do this. I can make this meeting. It cost me about $30,000, and I can do it. I'm doing it in Atlanta. I was organizing it with some other guys, and I needed a big promoter. I needed a big guy to actually come in. Mm-hmm. And so I listened to Obsidian for years, and I was like, okay, he's right there. Want to go ahead and invite him. So I had been super chatting in his channel for quite a bit, and then I'd also been, of course, I was super chatting like all the time with Kevin Samuels. So Obsidian said he was in. I thought it was great. I was like, thank you. So what I did is I had the speakers. I was really in charge of who the speakers were, but I did personally invite Obsidian. So we had the group of speakers, and then I said, Friday was the speakers, and Saturday was the actual class, the introduction to the class.
Okay.
And that's how I set it up, and it worked. It worked.
Man, that's great. That's great, man. Really, really. I think one of the most important things when it comes to when it comes to the manosphere and men in general, it's about networking, right? It's not only about who you know, but who you can bring together. I think that for me, as I mentioned, like I come from a promotion, managing, owning, owning different businesses as far as dealing with nightlife. I've always networked. So whether it was a promoter, DJ, recording artist, some of the biggest artists that you could think of that I actually have communication with to this day. And so you being able to say, all right, you know what? I have this idea. I want to teach this class to men, but I also want to make an event out of it and being able to branch out. I think that that is so great. And I know that this year you're doing it in Miami, correct?
Yeah, doing it in Miami. That's right. Yeah, Miami Convention Center.
Okay.
We're anticipating there's going to be around 1,000 guys coming in. So we're really hoping that it is 1,000. The first conclave was about between 80 to 90 guys that were there, kind of they were fluctuating in.
So that,
I paid for all their lunches, so it was free food. Sit
okay.
down and have your lunch. Yeah, it was catered. I wasn't like, okay, you gotta come here and go out and buy your own food. I was like, no, man, I'll feed you too.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect, man.
So this year also will be catered. The lunch, I think there's lunch and breakfast is going to be at least 3 days of that will be catered. So yeah, it'll be no big deal.
Okay.
I think it's pretty cool, man. You know, you pay that fee, you go there, and then you get to
Yeah, so
get to
so
meet.
I'm sharing it right now. So 2025 it is in Miami.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. There's who's that guy? Oh, wait, is that a? Okay, that's El
Yeah,
Guapo.
who is that guy?
So that's Andre and El Guapo.
Oh yeah, I know both of these gentlemen. Well, obviously I know Dre, but yeah, I know El Guapo as well. Good brother, man. Shout out to El
Yeah,
Guapo. Shout out to El Guapo. He's a good guy, man.
yeah, yeah. Very very good content. Zoom the Timeline was there. That was the second time going there.
Shout out to
And
Zoom, man. Shout out to Zoom.
let me think. A lot of kosher clinician was there.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so we're still thinking about who the speaker list is going to be. But Andre will be there, of course. There's no doubt we'll definitely have Andre. He has to be there. There's no way. Let me think. Of course, El Guapo will definitely be there as well.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah, so just make sure for to register for the conclave, you go to blackmanosphere.com,
Mhm.
and it is a 3-day event. 3-day event. So you see
Yeah,
that right here. It is from September. Oh nope, that was last year. Hold up,
yeah.
looking right now.
That's still a fifth one. That's right. So you have to. This is the way it works, guys. You have to go to the conclave in order to register for my class. So you can pay for the class too when you do the conclave, but if you as far as I'm concerned, the purpose of the conclave is to introduce you to the class. So
Okay.
not everybody who attends the conclave actually takes my class, but most of them do. And the reason why we do it this way is I need to meet you. I need to actually see who you are. I actually need to see if you're a problem. So if you're coming in and you're trying to be a disturbance to the class, I'll knock you out immediately because I'm not
Understood.
having some gynocentric person come in who's making a problem. The
Right.
requirement for being in the course is you have to be a black man with a pulse. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the way it is. I really don't play around with that. And okay, so if you want to look how this actually works, so okay, so you did that. Go ahead and get out of the shopping cart,
Oh, yep. Go ahead.
and then go up to the top and go to the search, and put Azure, Azure. Okay.
Azure.
Yep.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
AS. My bad.
Easy. Yeah. Go ahead and hit. Yeah, go ahead and enter. And you get the lab add-on from there. So that's me in Russia. So no, that's the DevOps 1-year laboratory. Go ahead and scroll down there and click. Okay, go ahead. 1-year DevOps laboratory. Go ahead and click on that. No,
This one
up,
here?
go up a little bit. No, not that one. That's a webinar. Go up a little bit. Yeah.
This one right here.
Laboratory. Yep. That's the course. So that is class number 7, and that's actually how you take my course. So this course is going to focus on AI and the cloud, and it is a 2-year course, and it's with AWS and with Azure. Sorry, it's AWS and GCP, which are 2 different cloud providers. And what it does is it uses Azure DevOps, which is another product. I know it's confusing, but it actually uses another product for automation and pipelines. So what we want to do is in the cloud, we don't want to just do our configuration in the cloud. We want to get automated so that we can deploy something quickly and then remove it if we need to change it and redeploy. That's the best way of doing things. So yeah, right. That's just for class 7, and there you go. Go ahead and click on class 1 real quick. So let's click on 2019. Go ahead and click on that one. Okay, you see that's free because when I originally taught it was free. So 2020, go ahead and click on that one.
Okay.
Number 2, see that one's also free. 2021, and class 3, free. Class 4, free. So I want to see the first 4 classes were free. All right. Now, class 5. Okay, so that was the maximum cost that we were charging there, which is $260. So we actually started having some costs associated with the class. I wasn't paying for everything. So that's why we started having a price increase. So class 6, which was last year, I think that's probably be, $500, if that's correct. And right now for this one, because this one is 2 years long and it's with AI, is $750.
Okay, wow. And the thing is that so people can take 4 classes for free, so they can do that right now, correct?
No. That was back in the day. I'm just showing you like in the history.
Okay. Understood. But sorry, go ahead.
So now it's not. So the guys who joined the program in the beginning, they got a deal because I paid for the conclave and the class was free. So I got guys who are making like $250,000 a year that were like class 1, class 2 students, and they're very thankful for the opportunity.
I'm sure they're very thankful. but even with this, and so what I was gonna say, Theo, and I just want to highlight this, right? Because so for interest-free and free installments, or you can pay essentially $68 a month. So if you're on some sort of budget, right, you can still be able to take this class and still be able to pay for it. So you don't want to miss out on the opportunity, because I know maybe some guys may be thinking like, $750. Oh man, I may not have it right now, but you can still pay about $70 a month and still be able to take the class. I just wanted to highlight that part.
So a class, I just want to say to the guys who are there, a class of this magnitude, because I teach the class 3 times a week.
Yeah.
All right. This is usually over $10,000 per person. Easy. And this is only $750. This is just ridiculously cheap. It is. I cannot believe how cheap it is. And then I look at the chat and somebody says, "Well, passes for the conclave go on sale." They never go on sale. The only time that they're actually on sale is actually at the conclave, and that's for the next conclave. So if you, like last year, if you were at conclave number 4 and there was a flash sale while we were there, and then the price of the conclave was only $75, but it's only like for 2 or 3 hours, and then it's gone. So the way we do it is the closer you get to the conclave, the more expensive it becomes. There's actual price increases, not decrease. We don't do it that way.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, especially me, like having excuse me, having a bachelor's in business administration and marketing. So of course that's smart. Now to answer your question, I believe this shop pay does go out for purchasing tickets for the conclave itself. So I don't think you have to pay the full price right up front. And that's what I was trying to look at.
So if you use the financing, the Klarna that you were just showing on, you can pay installments every month, which is true. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So I think that's fine. So I always say it's a great opportunity. I mean, we just got so it's basically like a downturn right now in the economy, right?
Right.
One guy, he had a job for $160,000 a year. He was let go after 6 months. He got reemployed immediately. I got another guy who just went from like just over $40,000 a year to $120,000 a year. And that happened after 15 months of studying the course. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. So I want to say this, guys, the marginal increase in income for students who have gotten jobs has been over $8 million.
Wow.
This is the marginal increase in income. I do keep a list of this. Most of that was actually when the class was free. So I look at people and I'm like, if you don't jump on this, you're crazy, because this is like incredibly low priced. This is a great opportunity for you to get out here. So do it. If you want to do payment plan, go ahead and do a payment plan. I mean,
yeah, because the way that I'm looking at it, Theo, is like I'm like, for me, right, when I'm like promoting a product, and this is just my promoter in me, right? when I'm promoting something, I'm like, okay, all right, people are gonna say, man, I have it right now. So I say, okay, well, you know what? I look at this, so it says, all right, so you could spare about $25 a month. This is the HIT pass, and you have the CIA pass, you have you have the Henry pass. So even so like you have mentioned a guy that's he was making about 160, right? You said about 160, right. Yeah. So this could be considered like a Henry. So he may not be able to afford the 1250, but you can pay about $115 a month, because if you're at Henry status, so let's say you're making about 120, you're making about you're making about you're making about $10,000 a month, right? So you can spare $115. I'm just rounding it up to the the nearest. Even though I know it says 112.
A lot of guys who are going to the class, they're making under $50,000 a year, to be honest. Okay. And a lot of those guys, like, they do have some savings, so they can pay them straight out. Some can't, so they go to a payment plan. Either way, like what I always tell them is, the books are free in the class. So originally, I made the students buy all their books. Now the books are for free. Mm-hmm. So we have other courses in there that are for free as well that you can use. We do have various online resources that are free to help you get certified. Like, just for the free stuff alone, you're definitely getting a great value. I didn't make I always made the students pay for all this. But for the salary, if you follow the program that I have, and you can defeat what we call imposter syndrome, which is the largest plague in the class is imposter syndrome. We got guys who think that they're black men, they can't make 6 figures. That's
right.
$1 million. The resources are huge in the class. I'm just saying, there's thousands, tens of thousands, just huge amounts of money in the resources. So there's guys who think that they can't do it, and we coach them to think outside of that thinking. Like, hey, look, you can get that job. We're going to help you do it. You know, you're worth more than that. Just think about your skill set. And we teach guys to actually be leaders inside the office and to focus on solving automation and actually providing solutions, particularly with engineering and architecture, and then also with security. If you follow the process, you're going to get a job. Yeah, you're going to be able to do that. And I get feedback from time to time, and I have to adjust the class depending upon where the students are and where I think the students need to go. So, you know, I understand the market. So as I told BGS, the goal of the class is to get you employed. That's what I think a graduation is. You're making 6 figures a year. You're making at least $10,000 a month, and you have a remote job. That is graduation. And we help you with a VPN setup so that if you want to go to Bogota, you want to go to Sao Paulo, you want to go to some other city and then work remotely, we help you out with that thing so that nobody knows that you're in another country. So
wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all like 80% of the class is passport based. Like they're leaving as soon as they can.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm very well aware. I am very, very well aware. Like, yeah. I know you and we've talked behind the scenes about me getting in the class, but I mean, yeah, like. Yeah, a lot of guys have been on my helmet saying, K&D, you need to be in this class. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, so like what TIQS says is Theo doesn't teach entry-level cloud engineering. That's correct. I help you compete to walk or work in a lead engineer or principal engineer. That's right. So I teach you how to do my job. So as I'm working, I'm teaching you actually to be my apprentice. And I'm like, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to think. This is how things work. And it's a process. And it's actually really not that hard. So I take you from 0 to hero within a certain time period. So the next class is going to be 2 years. That's just because we're going to have to put AI in there. And this is going to be basic to intermediate AI. So there's going to be a lot of study in that. There's going to have to be a lot of work, and we need more time. We need more time for automation and for Kubernetes, which is container orchestration platform. We need to get more time to help to get more, more details to get you into the job. So it's going to take longer. That being stated, some people get a job in 3 months in my course.
Wow.
They take it, they run it, boom, they're at 6 figures. Some people take 2 years or more. And it really depends on who you are, how much time you put into it, and if you're really working it or not. So the guys who are the hungriest, they're like, I'll do anything. Give me the opportunity. Those guys, boom, that's it. 6 months, they're in another country. Certified, making $150,000 a year. They're in Taiwan. Or like literally, they're in Panama. They're gone. Some guys take a little more time. They're working and they need more effort, and we have to work with them more. That's fine. So we do, and they get the results. But again, I got people right now from my class who is actually the TIQS is there. He knows, like, there's the results. The receipts are in the class. So if the students take a test for certification, if they pass or they fail, I have them posted in the group. And I tell them this, I said, because I don't want you to be a savant, an island savant. If you isolate yourself, you're going to fail. And I say, no, you're going to be working with groups. And you have to accept that you're going to fail at work. And if you can't accept failure, you have a problem. Like you're talking about, we are, as Black men, are trained to be like this Superman savior.
Right,
and I tell them, stop it. You're not a savior. You are
Right.
a normal person, and normal people fail. So you're going to fail. Let me help. You need to tell people you're failed so we can help you. All right. So
Right.
if somebody passes a certification, we all come together and say, great. But if they fail, they say to the group, yes, I failed. And we come together and console the guy and say, hey, we're going to help you out. What do you need? Can we help you? Like, it's okay. Next time you're going to make it. But we don't expect you to be Superman all the time. And in the class, I give you labs where I know, as your teacher, I know you're going to fail. But I do it so to get you to start asking for help and to go to other people who are going to help. So you're going to have a class leader. You have a group leader. So everybody has to be a part of a group. And your group leader already knows my process. He's already failed, but he overcame it and was successful. So when the students fail, they can go to their group leader and say, hey, I need some help. And that guy is there to help them, right?
Mhm.
So I don't want anyone to go in there and think like I have to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. That's the way it is. You're going to fail, and we're going to work through that, and we're going to learn together, and then you're going to become the kind of engineer you need to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, right? I think that this class and this conclave, but I'll focus on this class specifically. I think that this is great because, like, we are so used to taking so many things on our own, and what we have to realize is when we talk about, I mean, anyone who is successful, or the way we look at successful people, right? Could be finance, could be whatever kind of accolades, but they've had to have failed sometime in their life, right? Like how you were saying that when when you paid off your house, you got a filet mignon for you and your dog. I'm sorry, I forgot your dog's name. My bad. But you know what I mean?
Her name was Kitty.
Yeah,
Kitty.
but you got filet mignon for you and your dog, and you were so happy. But the thing is that like you were like, all right, I was eating the peanut butter and jellies, I was eating the oodles and noodles. Now I can actually have a nice filet mignon. Or if I want to get sushi, I can do that. If I want to go get a tomahawk steak, I can do that. Right. The thing is that like we have to understand, us as men, that we are here to help each other out. This is a community to where we are entrusting each other to help build each other up. All we're saying is that you just have to make sure that you are putting in the work and not just just kind of just be down on yourself and just say, well, you know what, it's over for me. No, it's not over for you. You just got to make sure that you continue to do the work and ask questions. Like sometimes I will ask questions 3 or 4 times, and sometimes I may repeat the question because I may not understand the context. But the thing is that if you don't understand, you still need to ask.
Right. Yeah, and you need to ask the questions so we know where you are. Because if you don't, if you're in the class, you guys always see this, the students will see this. I'm like, if you don't ask, I get to a certain point, like I need to go forward. So if you don't ask now, I'm not going to come back for you. So ask now while I'm ready to give you the answer.
Right.
All right. And so they know. I'm like, okay. So it's okay to fail. And that's why I tell the students. Now, you have to be responsible. You can't like fail and then forget and expect people to do your work for you. No, that doesn't work. And we have
no. You have to. Well, you have to be able to. Yeah, you have to be able to put in your own work. So what we're saying is that like you can fail, just don't be lazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't be lazy about it. So we don't expect you to know everything because again, the requirements are that you're a black man with a pulse. That's it. TIQS
to each other. Okay.
TIQS was just talking about Chewbacca dropping bars on people. This is Chewbacca. So
yes, yeah, yes, I'm aware.
So Chewbacca comes in sometimes, and if you don't do your homework, or if you're there's a problem in the class, he straightens you out.
I got you.
Yeah, maybe like
now I understand the concept of why they would call you that. Because I was like, why do they keep calling him that? But all right, now you broke it down. Yes, but everybody, please listen. The likes are free 99, free 99, free 99. Likes, share this video, and as I was saying before, you can hold on. Let me get to this. If you want to take the class, you go to blackmanosphere.com, register for the conclave. Once you register for the conclave, then you'll be able to sign up for the class. You cannot sign up for the class without signing up for the conclave. So don't try to cut corners. We're not cutting corners here today.
People do try to cut corners, and again, shout out to Shannon. He's basically logistics, business administration for the conclave. Immense. He is immensely useful. I cannot emphasize. I don't know what I would do without Shannon at this point, because when I was doing this all by myself, this was hard. If we're talking hundreds of people, I need someone to do some help to help me out with this. So Shannon has really been helping out. So Shannon has his own channel. Okay. So go check out his channel as well. He really focuses on health. And I actually, even for myself, I don't have the best health. I follow his advice and think about my image and, how do I want to look in front of other people? Okay, maybe I should exercise more, lose some weight. Think about it. So he's a great guy. He's really useful to the group.
No, absolutely, man. Shout out to Shannon. Now, I will definitely check out your channel and subscribe to your channel. But yeah, I mean, definitely physical health is definitely important. Definitely important, man. I'm actually going on 100 days without having any alcohol this month. This month I'm going 30. Well, this month will be 31 days. 31 days with no carbs whatsoever. No carbs whatsoever, man. So I'm grinding, man. I'm grinding.
That's a hard one to do, man.
What, the
carb? Off to you. Yeah. I have a Twinkie IV to after this. I get some Twinkies and just grind them up and put in some Coke in there, and then get an IV and just put it right into my arm.
Yes. Oh man. Shout out to Miss Polly. She says no spaghetti. Wow. Oh man, that's an inside joke, because I actually was on Instagram live and I was making spaghetti. Miss Polly came on my live stream when I was on Instagram and I was making spaghetti. But yeah, nope. So I'm having the pasta sauce. I'm having the pasta sauce, but no spaghetti.
Yeah, I'm doing. I don't do spaghetti now, but white rice, Thai rice, I still do that. Brown rice, I still do that. Yeah, can't help myself.
It's all good. Beyond the basics, I told someone, if I take 1K from you today and give you back $100,000 in 18 months, wouldn't you find a way to come up with that $1,000 no matter what? Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. So you can respond, and then I guess I'll give my feedback.
That's I think Andre said that. I heard that from Andre first, actually. This is entirely true. And guys, if you do the work in the class, your first paycheck will pay for all the costs associated with the class. And I have actually asked people who are getting their paychecks. I said, how much was your first paycheck and how much was the cost associated with the class? Which one was greater? And they always say the first paycheck is greater.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a question, right? Because now with the class and doing, excuse me, and doing the remote work, right? So typically when people are hired for these jobs, typically, like, how many hours a week that they're working on average?
40 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad that you mentioned that, because, right, like, especially in the United States, typically I think the most is 10 paid holidays, I think. I think 10 paid in the United States mostly, right? Depending on your job, the average job, I think something like that. And I'm just thinking about like, like the ratio of actually being able to enjoy your life and enjoy your finances, where you're not just working like 80 hours a week, like for your whole life. And I understand as men we're supposed to bust our ass. I get it. However, I also know that there has to be, you have to have some fun in your life, right? You have to have some sort of fun in your life. So I do think that's important. 40 hours a week, yeah. Invest
Yeah,
invest that $1,000.
I definitely agree with that. Okay, so I'm usually a workaholic, and one of the things I liked about the first conclave was that I was teaching the students from Sao Paulo. So I actually went from Atlanta directly to Sao Paulo after the conclave.
Okay.
And when I taught, of course, I was working to death, but then I was teaching. But then afterwards, I was in Brazil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was so healthy. I was so good doing that. And that's what I want to go back to doing. So just working 40 hours a week. And when I turn the computer off and I walk outside, I'm in Brazil. And there's a bunch of Brazilian Japanese women saying hi to me. Hey there, konnichiwa, tinky. Right? Like, that's how I want to do it, right? I don't want to be here in Austin, because here in Austin, like after I'm done with work, I'm like, okay, Chewbacca and myself, let's just walk the streets. Who cares?
Right,
like,
right.
There's nothing here, right? But,
Absolutely.
Back in what is it in Brazil? It's like, hey, let's date time. Let's go have some fun. Yeah, let's go do something. So I want the guys to have that opportunity. Of course, there's my students who are in Cali, Colombia, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going out and having a great time, right?
I think,
this is what we need.
No, I definitely think that it's what we need. I mean, listen, honestly, man, like this is very innovative, because we usually don't hear, and this is unfortunate about our people, because usually it's people will try to get the resources and just climb to the top, right? And then not share how they got it, right? And it's just like, okay, I'm at the mountaintop, and to be quite frankly, it's like, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? So you're saying, huh?
Yeah, I think that's lonely. I think that's dysfunctional.
I mean, it definitely is dysfunctional, but I'm saying, like, with our people, I mean, definitely, if people agree with me, put a 1 in the chat, because I'm definitely sure, like, we know our people will take the money and just run. And when I'm saying you've taken time and have put your resources into not only putting a class together, but actually putting a whole event where. And you did what? Three events? 3 of them were free?
3 actually, yeah, 3 were free. Well, classes 1 through 4 were free. Class 5 was only $60. To be honest, most of it was $60. So classes 5.5 onwards, I've been charging, but it hasn't really been that much. So it's just ridiculously how it's like. Most of the guys who got jobs were everything was free. Guys, jump on the program. This is good for you.
Absolutely, I completely agree. All right, so Big M says, excuse me, a gallon of water a day with some water enhancer and electrolyte powder can help curb your sweet tooth. That's actually really good to know. But yeah, so I drink about 2 of these. So this is a gallon of water. Smart water, okay. So yeah, so I drink like 2 of these a day, and I don't know, for whatever reason, like even since I was a kid, I've always liked drinking water, because some people like they can't drink water for nothing. You know what I mean? They gotta put something in the water in order to drink it. I could just drink, the water. It doesn't matter, but but
but still,
Mhm.
I gotta have those. I gotta have that Twinkie and Coke blend with IV. So,
You're not letting it go. You're not letting it go. I understand. Hey, listen. Hey,
yeah.
listen. Hey, listen. You work hard. You work hard, so you can get that. You can get that. You can get that, dog.
Yeah. So I share it with Chewbacca and myself. We kind of take turns. Like, hey, here you go, Chewbacca. He's like, ah. So yeah, it's a really good thing. I love it.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. See, Omar. He says I hate drinking straight water. Yeah. See, I could do that. No issue. No issue.
Yeah, I can drink it straight too. So this is Essentia. I usually drink this most of the time. I'm drinking C4 right through here. It's a pre-workout.
Okay. There you go.
I need the energy. But both of these are 0 calorie. So
Perfect. There you go, man. There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So now let me ask you. What would you say are the 5 most important things that have changed? 5 things that changed in your life from being a part of the Manosphere.
the first one immediate was decentering women.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Second one, removal of the effects of narcissism from my life. That I cannot explain how important that was. Second one, fully accepting the positives and negatives of being a Black male in the United States. Cannot emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
Next one, the focus on building myself every week, every month. And I would say lastly, respecting myself for who I am. Like a fundamental respect for who I am. Not compensate, not like having apologies, not simping, nothing like that. So like, yeah, I'm Theodore. I'm a Black man. Yeah, that's who I am. That's it. If anybody says anything else, otherwise, I'm like, I'm going to stand up for myself. Not only going to stand up for myself, I'm going to stand up for you. So the way that liberalism has it, I should be apologizing for myself and apologizing for you too, because we're both men, right? So we're somehow sinners and wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I don't do that. I'm like, nah, man. I respect myself. I respect my brother too, and you're not going to go after him either. So we're together on this, and I'm not gynocentric anymore, man. That's like overall, the gynocentric thought has been annihilated from my mind, and it's like a curse. So I think about myself first, and I'm very thankful for that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think that it's important, as you mentioned, to put yourself first, and not only that, but also be comfortable in your own skin, right? So it's like I can tell. I mean, even from conversations that we've had like offline and having a conversation now, I could just tell like you're very comfortable in your own skin, and because some people aren't really comfortable in their own skin, and it takes years for people to be comfortable in their own skin, right? And once you have it, it's kind of like that not really given a what factor, right? And it's like I'm just unapologetically me. You either accept it or you don't, and it's all good.
Yeah, it's not in a rude way either. It's just in a very like down to earth way. So again, you're going back to when the house is paid off, my assets. So my house assets and my financial assets over $1 million, right? And I'm just sitting there with my dog eating filet mignon. You notice how there's no attention? It's just basic. Right. I have a basic life. I have a normal pattern. I went to the gym that day. I did laundry, right? I took a walk. I have to do 10,000 steps a day. I stretched, right? I folded my laundry. I cooked my food that day. But the filet mignon I ate, I cooked that filet mignon. Went to the store, bought it myself. I went to the store on my bike. not on a car, not like, oh, you have $100,000 car. No, because having that kind of car is expensive, right? I didn't want that. I'd have actually when I was at 1 million assets, I rode my bike all the way from my house, all the way to Whole Foods, bought the filet mignon, and rode my bike back. Right?
Yeah.
Run of the mill thing, right? So it's not. I'm not trying to aggrandize myself. It's very basic. Like, what do I like? You know, listen to basic music. You can see even the phone I was using at that time. You can see it's broken in the back, right? So I still have the case for it. Just a very basic phone. You know, that's what I couldn't really know. So that's the fun I had. It's people have this view of this like lifestyle and everything. Like, oh, it's so great and wonderful. No. I was contemplating going into therapy for the 3rd time when I became a millionaire. I was still buying books, reading things, dealing with various issues in my life. It was still a growth pattern. And I would say with being in the Manosphere, this has really been my path as well. It's just meeting men where they're at and saying, okay, we need to take you to the next step. We understand you're gynocentric, or you don't think that you're good enough to do this kind of work, or even if we train you to do the work, you don't think you can get that money because you're Black. We're going to deal with you, right? Because I had that problem too back in the day. So I got over it. I'm going to help you get over it, right? And then not only that, we got how many guys in the class who are also making that money, so they can also talk to them and say, hey, look, this is correct. I'm making it too. Theo's not the only one. So we're going to help you get there. So it's calm, I would say. That's why I think it's nice. It's very, you know, you do a lot of work, but it's kind of like, you know, after you bench press, you get like a bench press, and then you do like an incline bench press, incline dumbbell press, right? And if you really tear your muscles out, you're not jumping up and down afterwards. You're just kind of glad to be alive.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So that's how I really think. I'm just like, okay, you know, you got the results. You have your protein shake up. You know, that's it. You just chill out. Very mundane life.
Yep, absolutely. So back beyond the basics says the class takes effort, but if you invest and stay consistent, it will grow and eventually bear fruit for you.
That's the whole thing. You got to stay in the class. I always tell people, you have to stay in the class. And we do have students who come back into the class, and they ask to come back in because they dropped out, and I work with them getting back into the class. But if you stay and you do the work, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the result, and you're going to get the 6-figure job. And then being remote is going to be a real option. And again, you can work with Andre with getting that tax return because he's really good at making sure you can get the tax return. You don't pay taxes on your first $126,000 a year if you live remotely for like 11 months. So I have students who are getting that tax return, right? It's like over $30,000, you know, money in their pocket, right? Just on the tax return, you can live 1 year abroad.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, like I know guys, I know expats who are making probably about 40 to 50K and are living, I mean, lavishly, right? So if you're making 120, 150 and above, imagine what you're living like. You know, it's almost like a Kingman Coming to America. Like the boy got his own money. Like, come on, man. Seriously, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was like 600,000 a year in Brazil, and I was in one of the best hotels in Sao Paulo, right?
I'm sure.
I wouldn't even tell people how much money I was making. There's just no need, because I wear like gym clothes. I look like a beggar when I go outside. I don't even care, right? But I could barely spend $500 a week. That was hard. Like that required effort. Like, so that was like paying for gym membership and CrossFit and going out every night. like that's the only way I could spend $500. It was really hard. So
Yeah.
money didn't mean anything. It was all about human connection and experience.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's the way life is supposed to be, not this get the bag crap. That's some demented low level crap. I never think about getting the bag. It's really your life, being happy, enjoying other people, enjoying life with other people. That's what you
Right.
want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that that's important, right? Because I mean, life is about people and the relationships, the relationship building, and being able to not only look within yourself and help yourself, but if you do have the tool and knowledge to be able to assist and uplift others who need your assistance. And this is so cliche, but each one teach one, right? And it's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely agree with that sentiment, man. All right, so
Yeah.
so
Hold
you
on, no.
have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm good. I was just making sure the class started. Yeah, because if you're not really emphasizing on that life, like, how do you establish what truth is if you're always going after a falsehood? And you're like that the bag that I always think about, going after consumer goods, like brand names, things like that. There's nothing to it.
Right.
Yeah, it's worthless.
I agree. Now, so now with this conclave, this will be the fourth, right?
Fifth. This will be the fifth conclave.
Okay, this will be the fifth conclave. Okay,
and this will be class number 7.
Fifth conclave, class number 7, and also another thing we forgot to mention. So with this class, there won't be another class for another 2 years. Is that correct?
At least 2 years. Yeah.
Okay. So so which means you would have to wait until 2027 or until Theo feels like it to be in another class. So yeah, you better join. You better join this year.
This is, I would say, not only join, guys, anyone who's watching this, not only do you want to join, please don't drop out. Okay? Because what I always tell my admins, we call it NARC. It's kind of a joke. Not the ARC, but this is NARC. So it's kind of good to figure out that.
I got you.
But NARC is launching, and we are going forward. And there's definitely a group of guys with whom I know I can make a company. And we have, like, there's guys in there that I know who can do high-level consulting, and they're worth about $250,000 to $400,000 a year. And before they started this class, they didn't know anything. But now they're really ready. So we really need to emphasize on building these guys, making them stronger, making them better. And that's why I say, like, we have to really focus on the guys who are putting in the work. Mm-hmm. So we want you to be one of these guys who puts in the work, and we're going to work with you. But if you drop out, understand we are going forward, because we don't have any other option. So we need to, I need to go to Brazil, buy a house, make a family. That's where I'm going. I need to make a company, and I need to do AI consulting. And there are other guys who are doing the same thing, right? So we need you to also be thinking about this and also join us. But if you don't get on the boat, it's on you. So please get on, all right? The invitation is there. Do it for your own sake, because when other people are losing their jobs to AI, you won't be, because you're going to be using AI. You're going to be an AI-enhanced employee, an AI-enhanced engineer. You're going to be giving solutions other people can't think about. You're going to be eating well. particularly if you're abroad, you're going to be doing really well. And the other guys will be like, hey, I just lost my job. That won't be your situation. You could be doing well.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let me see. If you are thinking about it and on the edge, think about this as the last hurrah. Yeah, I kind of like that. What say you about that?
It's pretty true. This is going to be the last hurrah. If there's another class in 2027, it's going to be drastically different. And I'll have to redesign what the class is. But for now, you're getting a cloud job, you're being a passport bro, you're using AI, you're doing some security, a little bit of programming, and getting 6 figures. This you can do. Yeah, the opportunity is there. What I always say is anybody who's listening to this, you have to believe in yourself. And also, for the love of God, don't do CompTIA. You have a group of people who follow a very foolish methodology in IT, and these people end up losing their jobs, not having job security at all, not being deep. I show you how to go deep, how to actually really be effective on the job and become a leader the way you're supposed to be. So take the class, do it for your own sake, okay? Because you're going to love it. You're going to be successful in the end.
Yes, and I just wanted to add something else, if you will, because I also want to talk about the 40 hours a week, because most people who are making 100,000 or more are working probably about 50 plus hours a week. So you could be making 100,000 doing 40 hours. So working from 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5. You still have the rest of the day for yourself, and also you have the weekend, right? And so I mean, because I know typically when guys are making 6 figures, you're typically, you have the weekend off. Usually, but you're on some sort of call. You have to respond to some sort of email or what have you. So trust me, the reason why I'm saying this is because I lived through it. So I know exactly, like, yeah, I'm off Saturday and Sunday, but I'm technically not off, right? Because I have to respond to something, there's some sort of fire that I have to bring my attention to. So like I would just say work-life balance. That's the phrase I was looking for. Work-life balance. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. So for the most part, if you're working cloud and kind of doing the kind of work I do, Tuesday through Thursday is really intense.
Okay.
Most work stops by 11 a.m. on Friday morning. You don't work past 11 a.m. Okay. If there is an emergency change, yep. Hold on a second. If there is an emergency change, you have to do it in the what is it? You have to do the emergency change like in the weekend or something like that. But there are really not that many emergency changes. To be honest, for the most part, you're not even working 40 hours. To be honest. You're probably working more like 32 to 35.
All right. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It might be a really intense 32 hours. But after that, it's everybody goes home. Like, that's it. You don't do anything after that.
I mean, but still, right? So let's say, right, like you're working until 11 a.m., maybe 10, 11 a.m. Friday morning. You still have the rest of the day. So I would rather have a like 3 to maybe 3.5 intense days, right? Out of those 5 days, right? All right, you really got to earn your paycheck Tuesday through maybe Friday morning, early Friday morning, and then after Friday morning or whatever, it's smooth sailing. Monday's kind of a balancing day. Tuesday, you're thrown into the fire. Right.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
you can take that. You can take that. Yeah, you could take that.
It's really not that hard, and the guys get used to it, and they do really well. And some guys really started excelling. And yes, we're definitely avoiding Keisha. We're avoiding Keisha at all costs. First off, you can't be a Keisha, and Keisha cannot go into the class. We do screen, and so we do have women who paid for the class or tried to get into the class. We're like, sorry, no. Like, we know you're a woman. Your money is refunded. Bye. We're not even dealing with you.
Oh wow.
And so then most of the guys, when they get the 6 figures, they become passport bros. They don't even acknowledge that Keisha exists.
Right.
Like, Keisha's gone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, shout out to Santika. He says, salute to the chat. I am all for the betterment of men. More of this, less about women. Level up. Let's go. Salute.
Yep.
Shout out to Santika. Growth with Kofa. Hey, man, salute to you, brother. Love this convo on daddy duty, but ear hustling. Trust me, man. I'm about to be on that too, because my son decided that he wanted to have a sleepover. So I gotta, K&D gotta turn into dad mode, very shortly. So I already know how that goes.
So yeah, when I go to Brazil, I'm definitely gonna be wife hunting, so I can make kids. So I can be looking. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, like 25% Japanese. Okay,
you'll be definitely, you'll be fine. You'll be fine over there. Trust and believe that. You'll be fine over there. And I hope so. Nah, Brazil, you'll be fine, brother. Trust and believe that. Now, speaking of Brazil, when are you traveling next? And so is Brazil your next destination?
So I have a lot of things I want to bring to Brazil. So I need to go to their customs first and actually talk to them about their entire process, because if I bring like 6 containers worth of stuff over, I need to make sure that I don't get taxed to death. So that's kind of a big thing. So my students are aware that I want to build a gym in Brazil. So I'm bringing gym equipment over to Brazil. So yeah, my next time I'll be there will be in December. It'll be after Cali, Colombia. So I'm gonna go to Cali first, go hang out with Andre for Thanksgiving, have some fun there. And then go to Sao Paulo for 2 months and then come back, and then I'll be in a better position to understand how the whole move to Brazil is gonna go down.
Okay.
I know Andre, he's gonna be showing me every single half Japanese, half Colombian woman he possibly can to get me to stay in Cali. So I get to see that, because I was in Japan 16 years. I speak fluent Japanese. So
really? Okay.
The one weakness that I do have are Japanese women. They can actually really pull on me. So yeah, I could just see that, like, okay, look, this is this Colombiana, but she's half Japanese, right? Like, how about this girl? Like, and she's a nerd. She's a nerd too. She likes anime. Oh no, not anime! No, I can't resist. No.
Well, hey, listen. I mean this in all sincerity. I mean this in all sincerity. You will be happy hunting.
I probably will. I'm probably gonna enjoy
Probably.
What
you mean?
I don't hunt that much. I'm usually like, again, I'm thinking about the class. I'm thinking about work, something like that. Like, I'm with Chewbacca, taking him for a walk, right? That's what I'm thinking about. So even if, like, okay, like, say there's a shapely woman walking in front of me, I have all my needs met, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much like, oh, okay, just keep on going. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's something trivial to me. So, the one poison would really be like a nerdy Japanese Colombiana girl who just sits in front of me and goes, like that. Hey, that, yeah. Boom,
Okay.
done. Like, I've collapsed. Oh no, the walls are down. I don't know what to do.
Wait, so have you been to Medellin?
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't been to Medellin with me though, bro.
No, I was married actually when I was there.
Oh
So was my
yeah. So,
Japanese wife.
okay, yeah. You gotta go with me, man.
Yeah.
Okay, chocolate tie.
So chocolate Thai is my other weakness.
Oh.
Yeah, dark Thai kind of does it to me. They just like I have these shields in front with women, and like dark Thai just goes straight through.
Yeah.
No,
Oh man, there
please,
you go.
no, save me.
Oh man, this is great, man. This is great. This is
Yeah,
great.
I
This
met
is great.
I met some cute Afro Latinas in Sao Paulo. I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. They were
Oh, you will
cute
see,
girls.
yeah, you'll see a lot in Cali, a lot of Afro Latinas, man.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Yeah, I didn't know women could be feminine like that. But wow, they're
Yes, absolutely, man. You like
yeah.
that. See, and that's the thing, man. Like with your classes, this conclave, and with us as the travel community and all of that, like we have this enormous amount of information that we're able to pass around, and like you can see a chick, you may think she a Keisha, but no, she feminine. That
Hmm.
Keisha, she feminine, man, for real,
Hmm.
and it's like, all right, this is not what I was expecting, and you'll be
You
pleasantly
can
surprised, man, pleasantly surprised.
their inner light, the energy, the inner light is amazing.
Hmm.
And it's like, wow, you are truly feminine. Like you just
Hmm.
don't see this in the States. So they're just a delight to be around. So yeah, I know. Yeah. But see, the way I look at it is like, okay, oh, so there can be women around. Okay, so go to the gym 4 hours first. Okay, so go to the gym 4 hours first, lift a lot, don't eat anything, then
Hmm.
go in front of a woman. I'm like, I don't care. I, I want protein. I don't care about you. You're feminine. I just want to eat something. Give me steak. I
Oh
know.
man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the way I do it, just to make sure that I don't do something stupid. Let's just say this: if you see me abroad, we'll probably like catch up sometime, in Cali or something like that.
Yep.
I usually make sure that I'm very balanced before I actually talk to a woman, just to make sure that she can't catch me off balance.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, yeah, it's okay. I
No, it's
have a
good.
pretty good day right now. Yeah, I'm not because if you get guys who are thirsty, then they're gonna get scopomined, right? That's what
Right.
happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a that's a good way to go about it, because you do have a certain amount of guys who are not really used to being around not only very attractive women but also very feminine women, and then they're so taken aback, they melt, and
Mm.
like and their wallets also melt with them. So you got to be very, very careful. You just got to be very, very careful. And I like the fact that you said that you're balanced before you take that approach, right? And I
Hmm.
would say, like, for me, I always have this, like, I know that I've been there before. Act like you've been there before, right?
Hmm.
So don't go Google Gaga. I mean, in your mind, you're like, holy shit, she looks very good. But, when you're in front of her face, you're keeping it cool. And that's that, man.
Yeah, yeah. I I just go look at child support laws real quick, and then go watch then go watch Maury. So go watch Maury, like you are not the
Oh,
father,
man.
right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, so do I even want to deal with this?
Yeah.
I like my money. I like how rich I am. Yeah. So
Right.
there's
Yeah.
only so far she could go. That's why it's probably like the girl who likes anime, who's a total nerd. She
Mhm.
can get through because I like anime, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like let's have sushi and do anime. I'm like, oh, I know this. This is comfortable to me. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Okay, yay. Oh, okay, this is good. All right.
There you go.
Don't put anything in my drink. All right.
Shout out to Moses. He says, "Hell no, child support."
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, no.
I'm pretty careful about that. I see women, they say like they're going to do this and that, and I'm just like, try it, because I say like if you've been in the Black Manosphere for a long time, you're kind of like a Mandalorian. You're just battle ready. You're battle hardened, right? So you're kind
Yeah,
of like, yeah, you're not going to really do something to me, honey. It's not.
yeah,
I know who you are. I know what you're.
right.
I know how to deal with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, absolutely, man.
Mhm.
Well, listen, brother, man. I definitely don't. I definitely got to bring you back on again, man. Hopefully, maybe right after the conclave, you give me. We can talk about it because I'm definitely gonna be in this class. So
Mhm.
definitely
Yeah,
gonna be in
sure.
this class. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so let's definitely talk about that, and hopefully it'd be great if we're together in Cali, and then we can interview some of the students who are there and
oh
talk about
yeah,
how their
yeah,
lives are
yeah.
different.
Yeah, that would be yeah, man. That would be really, really cool, man. We could definitely work on that. All right, man. But I definitely appreciate your time, my brother. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So and I want to thank everybody for watching, everybody who popped out. There were some new faces and your students, your supporters. They definitely pulled up for you, man. Okay, he says this is the way.
Mhm.
Absolutely, this is the way, man. But I definitely appreciate y'all, man, and thank you
Yeah.
all for watching my interview with Theo. And I appreciate y'all. Happy Saturday.
Mhm.
Enjoy y'all weekend. I believe Andre's about to do movie night if he hasn't started already. But definitely,
Yep.
peace and love, man. Stay purposeful, and I'm out. Peace.
See ya. Talk to you. Thanks.